Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Max Payne 3 hardcore difficulty video walkthrough. This is the third section to a fat bald dude with a bad temper, and the start of this is pretty challenging. Immediately after shooting those people on the trolleys, you have to spin around and kill these guys, because they're going to come out of this evidence lockup or whatever the hell it is, and they'll either be really aggressive or really cowardly. It doesn't seem to be any real fluidity to the movements. They just, a couple will rush, a couple will sit back. It's one of those situations where there's no real solid way to handle it, but any way will generally work. Just be careful, try not to get hit too much, and hopefully you've got more painkillers than I do, because I only have one right now, which is not the end of the world, just not the best situation to be in. But there's a couple of firefights coming up that are more interesting than difficult, so that's not too bad. And then there is the boss of the level coming up, who's actually pretty simple when you know what you're doing. But coming up, there's also the opportunity to get a flak jacket, and I don't know if it's just a cosmetic difference or if it actually, it impacts the statistics of damage that you receive. But it's worth picking up because I do believe it's a clue, and it gives yourself a little, a different appearance throughout the level. And this is a long one, so you might be getting bored of looking at his back, and it'll look a little bit different with a flak jacket on, but it's just over here on the rack. There you go. And it probably does affect the damage you receive, because it's one of those games that pays attention like that. But who knows? Because this is the level before the final mission of the game, and the final mission is actually pretty easy. Except for the last part with the boss, which is bullshit. The level itself is one of the easiest, if you know what you're doing. There's just one section to it that I would say is bullshitty. Everything else is pretty fair. But just keep picking up painkillers, keep moving, doing your thing. There's some to my side there, I don't know why I didn't grab them. There we go. And we're going to be moving into the kill house here, the training area for the police. And this bit reminds me of Battlefield 3, because that was the last game I saw something like this in. And this is all over the place in Rainbow Six Vegas. But just pepper dudes, use the corner trick, be patient, try not to rush these areas too quickly, or you'll get yourself in a spot of bother. But if you play intelligently, you'll have no issue whatsoever. Right there, did you see that? That is a fantastic example of this animation stuff fucking me up. Max shot into the air instead of shooting directly forward, and that guy hit me. Completely inexcusable. But I'm not going to talk too much about the gameplay, because I've talked a lot of gameplay, and if you've got to this part on hardcore, you're probably going to do the rest without much trouble, because this game mode is not as challenging as it sounds. It's that simple. At first I thought it was going to be really, really hard, and I think because hard is so much more challenging than you expect it to be, it makes this difficulty much easier than you think it will be. So just bear that in mind, and you shouldn't have too much trouble. So the final film that I watched, which I watched the other day, is a movie called The Sitter, which couldn't be, far from the one I watched before it in context, mood and tone, because this is kind of like an offbeat comedy, an offbeat loser comedy, and it's got Jonah Hill in it back when he was fat, back when he was cuddly, and he plays pretty much a college dropout who lives in a dysfunctional family, doesn't really have much of a relationship, is getting used by a girl who he believes to be his girlfriend, and his mum suggests he babysits for a family so she can go out and have a good time, and he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't really want to do much of anything because he's really lazy, but he decides to concede this one time because he wants his mum to be happy, and he ends up having a really fucked up night that ends up, ultimately setting him straight and giving him a path in life, and a massive realization moment. He has an epiphany at the end of the night because of the children and the relationship and some of the bullshit that happens. And it's a pretty funny film. It's not like the best comedy you're ever going to see, but there's some really great lines, and it starts with a pretty cracking one when Jonah Hill is actually eating out this girl who he thinks is his girlfriend, but is just using him to get her kicks from oral sex. And she says something along the lines of, "My mum was totally right," after he's finished getting her off. And he's like, "Why? What did she say?" She goes, "Oh, she says the fat ones always eat better." And he's like, "I don't really know how to take that, but I guess it's good." And it's just one of those really awkward lines that I felt was really funny. And that's pretty much the tone for the rest of the movie, because he's babysitting these children that all act too mature than they should, and he's cursing up a storm at these kids, and it's super inappropriate, but it tickles me because that's my sense of humour. And there's a couple of good situations in it. There's a Sam Rockwell performance which absolutely steals the show because he plays this gay boxer drug dealer guy who's got loads of money, and the sequence of them entering his domain is hilarious because it's just so awkward in the strangest possible way. It really is great. But yeah, it's not too bad of a film. It's got some really contrived moments, but then again, when do these films not have those moments? And if you're willing to watch, you know, just not really a life-changing silly movie, then this is definitely one you should check out, because I enjoyed it a lot, because it was nice and dumb. But back to the game anyhow. Make sure you're picking up as much ammo as you can, because more ammo equals more better. And just be careful as you push forward, because if you ever see a door open, it means a dude's going to come. And that guy surrenders. And every time he surrenders, I panic and I shoot him, because I forget that that moment's going to happen. So I don't know if you get anything for keeping him alive, or if he pulls a gun on you if you do. I'm not too sure. But he's dead anyway. And I'm checking every door I physically can, because that's how I roll. But I was checking the forums the other day, and I saw something really funny. Somebody's complained about the loading during the cutscenes, which I knew it was going to come, because that's just how it works. And I think I just missed 2 painkillers just then. I'll have to pause the video and look back, but it looked like there were a shelf to my right. This is an awkward section as well, so I'm going to have to cut my conversation off mid-point. As soon as it starts, you need to kill these guys to your left, or they're going to flank up and hurt you. While this is happening, you are being shot from the right, so be really careful, because it's so simple to get clipped here, and it's not really fair, but if you take the area like I do, you should do it with no trouble whatsoever. And it doesn't matter where you are position-wise when the checkpoint hits, because I think it puts you to the same place every single time. But somebody were complaining about the loading in the cutscenes, and they actually sent a message to Rockstar, and Rockstar replied, pretty much completely covering up the issue, and just sent him some drivel along the lines of, to make sure it's the most cinematic experience in your action video game, we made sure that you had to sit through certain cutscenes to give you the full experience. And I'm sat there just going, you fucking PR piece of shit. They didn't have the balls to say a game has to load and we hid it with cutscenes. They made out that it's this intentional fucking mechanic to make the game more immersive. It's like, shut the shit up. What are you on about? That is so dumb. And don't get me wrong, games have to load, it's just a matter of fact. It's one of those things where hopefully in the future and the next generation consoles it's going to be less of an issue, as it has been for these, but they decided to go with something different and unique, and it kind of fails fundamentally, but what can you do? It's how the game is structured, it's how the game's being built from the ground up, and it's just one of those things we have to deal with, so... It's just lovely to see PR speak, because they're so afraid of saying anything definitive that's going to somehow portray their company as something other than stellar. It's ridiculous. There's too much legislation, there's too many fucking loopholes. It's just lawyer speak, man, and I hate it. But I think this is the last guy of the room, and once this guy's dead, we're going to see the boss that we have to fight. But you're going to see that on the next video, because I've isolated all the boss fights into their own videos, so for ease of use... Oh no, one more guy. A quick shoot dodge and the room is cleared. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and you take care now.